Hey guys, this is the video lesson for Chapter 1, Lesson 3 on rates. So, follow along with me and follow all directions in this. Let's get started. First, it says use your glossary, which starts on page GL1 to complete the definitions of the vocabulary words in the table. Well, I'm going to actually go through these instead of using your glossary, so write down in your book, you're on page 31 as we go through it. So, first, definition for a fraction. A fraction is a number that represents part of a blank or part of a blank. So, if we were coming up with a definition for there, fraction represents part of a whole or part of a total. And our examples over here, 1/2, 3/4, 9/12, 45/3 is an improper fraction. Okay. Now let's talk about ratio. Ratios often look like fractions, but their definition is different. It says a ratio is a comparison of two amounts by division. Don't worry so much about the by division part. No, a ratio compares two different amounts. So when we look at our examples to the right, we have 2 out of 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3. Even though that looks like 2/3, when it's a ratio, we say 2 to 3. Now, rate. A rate says is a blank comparing two blanks with different kinds of blanks. All right, so a rate is a ratio comparing two amounts with different kinds of units. Okay, get that written down and I'll tell you what they mean. So first off, a rate is a ratio. Remember, above, a ratio compares two different amounts. 2 out of 3, 2 to 3. But a ratio, the two amounts have to have different kinds of units. So we're not just saying 36 to 3. We have two units, miles to hours. They have to be different. 36 miles for every 3 hours, $26 for 5 bags. Notice it's dollars, bags, two different units, 19 songs in 5 minutes. They are all rates. And last, a unit rate is a kind of rate. So a unit rate is a rate that is simplified so that it has a denominator of 1. A unit rate has to have a denominator of 1. So let's take a look at our examples. 12 miles per 1 hour. Notice the denominator is 1. That can also be written 12 miles per hour. Per hour means per 1 hour. $5.20 for 1 bag. 3.8 songs in 1 minute. Notice what they all have in common is they all have a denominator of 1, no matter how they're written. That makes it a unit rate. All right, let's go to the next page. Let's start to do some of the examples so you can see what we're doing. So in the first problem, it says, Samantha picked 45 oranges in 5 minutes. Write this rate as a unit rate. Now, I know all the work is done for you here, but I'm actually going to do it so you can see how they got their answer. So if you're finding unit rates, this is kind of what you do. You write them as fractions. So let me see, trying to find a good spot to write here. Okay, I just blocked that out. It'll be easier. So Samantha picked 45 oranges in 5 minutes. So I start by writing that as a fraction. 45, I put O for oranges, and 5, M for minutes. You could write the whole word out if you want, but you don't need to. Maybe I'll do OR so it doesn't look like a 450. All right, write this as a unit rate. Now remember, a unit rate has to have a denominator of 1. So we want to find out how many oranges in 5 minutes. So here's what you got to do. To simplify this, we have to use division. Now the good news is, whatever this number is, you just divide by that. Because 5 divided by 5 will get you 1, right? Any number divided by itself is 1. And if you divide the bottom by 5, you must divide your numerator by 5 as well. So I have 45 divided by 5 is 9. So my unit rate is 9 oranges per minute. That's the answer. And you could also write that 9 oranges per minute. Okay? Now we'll go to another example. Let me get rid of that up here. All right. This says the Australian dragonfly can travel 18 miles in 30 minutes. How far can the dragonfly travel in 1 minute? So I'm going to show you again here. This time, let me cover this up. I know you can see it in your book, and that's fine, but you could watch how they came up with it. So again, I'm going to start by writing my rate as a fraction. This 18 miles in 30 minutes. So 18, I'm going to use m for miles over 30 m for minutes. So I'm going to actually make the min and miles because they both begin with m and I don't want to get confused. Now it says, how far can a dragonfly travel in 1 minute? Now since the minutes is on the bottom, I'm going to write 1 minute on the bottom. And since that's a 1, that's a unit rate. Remember, a denominator of 1 makes it a unit rate. So here's what I see. You take that 30 and you divide by 30 because that will get you 1. And then you have to do 18 divided by 30. Now make sure you type it in that order on your calculator, 18 divided by 30. And if you do that, you'll get 0.6 miles per minute. Now you'll see in the book they wrote it as a fraction because 0.6 is a fraction. And it's the fraction 3/5, and that's okay as well. But my answer here would be 0.6 miles per minute. Okay? All right, so now we're going to go down. We're going to try a couple. We're going to try A and B. So I'm going to get rid of those boxes. Okay, so in A, I'm going to try A with you, and then I'm going to have you do B by yourself. So remember, I'm going to follow all directions here and do this with me. A says, Amma downloaded 35 songs in 5 minutes. How many songs did she download per minute? Remember, our first step, we're going to take that rate and write it as a fraction. So 35 songs for 5 minutes. Okay? And it says how many songs did she download per minute. Now that per minute, remember, means per 1 minute. So we want this defined to be 1 minute. All right, now here's what I'm going to have you do since I helped you get this set up. I want you to figure out what you went from 5 to get the 1. Do the same thing to the 35, and you'll get your answer. So pause the video, try this, finish this one on your own, and then restart it to see if you were right. Go. Okay, let's see how you did. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. You always divide by itself. And 35 divided by 5 is 7. So when you write your answer, it should be 7 songs per minute. All right, that's your answer to A. Now, you are going to try B by yourself. So what I want you to do is pause the video, do B, and when you're done, restart it and go over it and check your answer with me. Go ahead, pause it now. Okay, so let's see how you did for B. So in problem B, let me put a box over this so I can do some work for problem B. All right, problem B says, Jonathan is baking several loaves of bread to sell in his bakery. He used 9 cups of water and 12 cups of whole wheat flour. How much water was used per cup of flour? All right, so let's talk about this. He used 9 cups of water. And I'm not just going to write cups because both of these numbers are cups. So 9 cups of water. So I'm going to use W for water. And that was for 12 cups of whole wheat flour. Maybe I'll do CF for cups of flour. And I'll go up and I will do CW for cups of water. All right. Now, remember the question says how much water was used per cup of flour. That is key. Per cup of flour. And remember, the denominator is cups of flour. So per cup of flour means 1 cup of flour. Okay, if you had it set up like this, you're halfway there. So 12 divided by 12 will get your 1. You always divide by whatever the denominator is. And then you do 9 divided by 12. Now, make sure you typed it in that order. If you typed in 12 divided by 9, you get the wrong answer. You have to type in the 9 first. 9 divided by 12. And if you do that, you are going to get 0.75, which is our answer. So, it's 0.75 cups of water for every cup of flour. Now, if you wrote it as a fraction, you would have 3/4 cups. Okay? Either one of those is okay. All right, if you had that right, give yourself a C. If not, make sure you fix it in your book. Okay, and you could remember, you could pause this video at any time if you need to. All right, on to the next page. We are not going to go over example 3 because that one is just a huge pain in the keister, and we're not going to do problem C. Okay, we don't need to do that. But we are going to go and we are going to do finding a unit price. Now, we'll talk about what a unit price is first, and then we'll show you an example. You'll see this is a lot like what we've been doing. Now, this says you can use what you know about unit rates to find a unit price. Now, this definition is important. A unit price is the cost per unit. To write a price as a unit price, divide the numerator and the denominator of the rate by the denominator. In other words, you're doing the same exact thing. You see how you want the denominator to be 1? Okay, that's all unit price is. We're just dealing with money. We're not talking about cups of water per cups of flour. We're talking about money for one thing. That's what it is, the cost of one thing. So, in this one, for example, it cost $36 for 4 tickets. So the cost per unit or per ticket is $9. Now, just to show you what they did, it's $36 for 4 tickets. The unit price is the price for 1 ticket. Okay? You divide by 4, and you get $9 per 1 ticket. Okay? Same thing we've been doing, just dealing with money. So let's go on to this page. We'll show you example 4. Are you ready for example 4? Now, they have part of it done for you, but I'm going to put a box over it because I think it's better for you if you actually see how they got the answer rather than just looking at what they have written down. So in example 4, it says 4 potted plants cost $88. What is the price per plant? Now, here's one thing that's tricky about this one, is they have the 4 first and the 88 second. But when you're writing these as fractions, you always want the money on top. So I'm going to write that here. Money on top. All right, I like to say money first. So I'm going to write my $88 on top. Remember, money first. For 4 potted plants. I'm just going to write 4P for 4 plants. And it wants to know what is the price per plant. Remember, price per plant means the price of 1, which is the unit price. So 1 plant. Okay, see how they have it set up. Then divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 88 divided by 4, and you get $22 per plant, or $22 for 1 plant. That's the unit price. So all the problems you're going to be doing are pretty much like those examples. If you have trouble with any of these problems, go back and watch this video again or watch part of it. So let me just show you what you're going to be doing. Since if you were absent, your absent sheet's going to be telling you to do 1 through 6 on your own. I'm not going to go over those on the video, but when you hand in your absent work to me, I am going to be checking your answers. Also, if you have any questions, make sure you ask me. All right, that's it for today's video lesson. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.